Alright, what is going on, people of the internet? Welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival of Max Speed, and this time we got the Sarco, and I like the Sarco. Honestly, I always wanted one when I was playing through the game the first time, and it was pretty bad. But this was because it was before the Sarco was kind of, given that increased turning radius so that it can pretty much like turn as well as a scorpion or a spider or anything like that. And so the Sarco can now turn quite well. As you can see here, it's going pretty good. And the reason behind this, my picking of the Sarco, was because it is the best. Well, actually the Beezle Buffo might actually give it a run for its money, but it was at one point and is now a contender for the best all-around mount in the game. Like, you can have an Agentivus, and they can fly, and they can, kind of walk, but they're mainly for flying, so it's mainly land travel. But a Sarco, they have infinite oxygen, I do believe, and they're, an early game mount that you can take into the water. Obviously we got a low one here, so it's doing next to nothing to these Titan bows that are attacking us. That one was a level 76, but it still took like 10 hits to do it. And the attack animation is, oh god, it's just terrible in the Sarco. I think these Mega Neuros are doing more damage even though they're in a big cluster like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and retreat because I'm kind of sick of that. But you can see here, swim speed, normally, quite good. And obviously, clicking on this video and looking at the timeline right now, you can see this thing's about 8 minutes long. And this is because I ran into a bit of a problem. This Sarco is glitched. The Sarco has always been a bit of a glitched mount, in the sense that when you're going over a hill, its tail can like shoot directly up or angle directly down, and it kind of breaks the Sarco. So I'm going to add the experience and then run away from that Titan boa. Alright, so here's your last chance. Look at its stock swimming speed right here. Alright? And why I thought this would be really interesting is because when you pump movement speed, it's going to make you go a lot faster, not only on land, but mainly in the water, which is what the Sarco, and you're not going to tame one for the land. So I'm going to go ahead and test it out on land first here. So I'm just going to hobble over to the other side of this river. And it caps out at 396%, which is pretty good. So this is walking speed, and this is its speed on land. At a full sprint, this thing's probably going to keep up with a 50% max speed T-Rex. I don't know, something like that. It's pretty good, honestly. If it had better stamina, I'm not really sure because I have Infinitestats here. I'm not sure how long its stamina lasts at full speed like this, but you can see, okay, here's the tail. You see it kind of, I can't really get an angle on it because the Sarco's so big, but you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it, I don't know, I forgot to point it out, but it was dangling over the edge because the character model is a bit broken. In the Sarco, actually, there is a glitch where if you are swimming with the Sarco and you've pumped movement speed, there, the tail again, broken. It doesn't actually change the movement speed in the water at all, and I actually do go to test this because I can't really, this is where I start to kind of become a little suspicious, like, hey, this isn't exactly 400% movement speed here, what's kind of going on? Now, a side point, I hate the swamps, holy crap, it's just, Mega Piranhas are everywhere. You can't go in the rivers at all. There's Mega Neuros. It's too hot. Oh, God. I like it. I like the atmosphere of it. And I think it's a really cool thing to have. But the swamps take up so much of the Ark map. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, there used to be this huge lake on the western side of the central island. And it would be an awesome place. You could go there and find like 12 T-Rexes. And now it's completely swamped over. And it's kind of disappointing. But you can see here, the Sarco, its movement speed is actually kind of staying the same. So I find another Sarco here, and I'm like, alright, well, I'm going to test this. I'm going to Forcetame this other Sarco that we got in here. And this is when things really start to go wrong. Like, this was, looking back on this, God, I hated having to do this. Because this Sarco is stuck in the trees, and I can't move it any way I go. And I can't knock down the trees, because apparently it can't hit them. So I have to call in reinforcements, hop back onto land, and, like, call in a mammoth. So I'm going to try and punch the trees down, but, that's going to take a couple days, so I think I'm just going to let them sit here while I go get a mammoth for them. Alright. So, Sarco, I don't know. I guess we could take this time to discuss it. And maybe... okay. I looked over from the Giganotosaurus video the suggestions that I thought. And I like every one except for the rating idea. Like, I think that rating is cool. And it's definitely has its own place. But the time invested that it takes to raid somebody... And also the fact that you're just kind of going in there. Like, if I were to raid somebody online, I'd be just taking their stuff, and I wouldn't have a purpose of doing it. And I don't think that's really fair to them, because if I just go in there and take all their stuff, well, then they lose everything, and who really profits from that? Nobody, because I'm not going to be... I don't really have time to invest into a PvE server because Ark, to start up and play through, to get set up to do those kind of raids, is going to take easily 100 to 200 hours. And I don't really know that I have time to do that. And I don't really feel like I want to waste 200 hours of other people's time. Like, I think the raiding is definitely cool. And between big tribes, it's pretty cool. But I don't think that myself or any of my friends will really have the time to do that. But everything else seems really cool. I actually like the best base spots idea. That sounds like it's a really awesome idea. And I kind of want to do that as well, because I've got a couple ideas already planned out. And I think I might start that up soon. And so if you think that's a good idea, the best way you can show support is just by like watching that video, because that's how I usually gauge things. Like if I post something and it gets, I don't know, 10 views, I probably won't make another one. Like I did with that with Rocket League, and I did that with Keep Talking Nobody Explodes, and it didn't really get much stuff. Donald Trump Civ 5 mod, it was pretty good. Arc max speed is obviously what people want to watch here, so that's why I'm doing all these. And I really like this video too. Like I think it's a pretty cool series to test it out, because you could do the craziest things in Arc with these max speed commands. So I finally got these Sarco unstuck, finally, and you can see it's no faster and no slower than I am. It's the exact same speed. It keeps up with me fine. There's not much else to say other than that. Like this Sarco, I believe it's a bit glitched, so I'm gonna probably post about this on the Arc subreddit, or yeah, I'll probably say that a movement speed pumping doesn't affect the Sarco's movement speed in the water. But you can see here, this is where I really start to give myself a headache, because you see how I hopped off the other Sarco and got on this one, and it was kind of bumping into me. So I'm like, alright, well I'm going to go find something else that I can, test this out on. So I try to spawn an Ichthy, that doesn't work. I go out and find a Weasel Buffalo, you'll see, it's kind of a mess. And then I start to drown, so that. But, yeah. I do like the, best base spots idea. Best mods is also pretty cool, but I don't see that happening for a little while because the game's still in alpha, and I don't know how stable everything's going to be. But I do think that's a cool idea, and I'll just have to look into it and make sure that I know how to do this, like with the whole modding thing, because I've never really seen how to install mods, so I'll have to check that out first. Other than that, yeah, Sarco, good mount, I like it, it's pretty cool. I'm chasing this Weasel Buffalo around here, giving myself, oh god, I hate this. I remember having to do this, because I always record this, and then I do post-commentary afterwards. And this stupid Weasel Buffalo, god. But we've already obviously done the Weasel Buffalo at max speed, so I'm going to pump speed here, and just see if the following distance between these two Sarcos is at all different. And this will be the final testament to see if movement speed is at all affected in the water on a Sarco, or if it's just when you're riding it that it's not effective, or whatever. So, yeah, Mega Piranha is just everywhere. That's pretty annoying. But, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and pump the movement speed on this thing. I think it gets up to 495. I don't remember it getting that high. That's pretty crazy. On a fast mount like a Weasel Buffalo to get that high? Or 475 or something like that. I can't really see. But, yeah, you can see neck and neck. You can't really call a winner here because they're pretty much the same speed. But, I think that's pretty much going to do it from us. I don't know. I hope they fix this, because I'd really like to see. I'd come back definitely and do another Sarco fixed video if the Arc devs do fix this, which I'm sure they will once it's pointed out. I don't think anybody really does testing on max speed of things, so yeah. I think this is probably going to be the first time it's brought up. So that's pretty much going to do it from us. Thank you for watching. If you got suggestions for the next one, you can leave them in the comments. Might be Parasaur. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Parasaur. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.